This has given us an opportunity, and we have taken a lot of that. What you said, how we managed all this, improvement in the consumptions and all, domestic at least, and also our growth is better than the last year corresponding period. Is basically you have done certain reforms which were pending for a long time, like GST 2. Okay, so that is the reforms we have done, and also we have diversified our export. Let me tell you, that doesn't mean that there's no effect of the tariff. Let me be very honest about it. If you see the growth of export, the service export has outpaced merchandise, and mainly because of the US tariff. I must appreciate one reform which I think government is now targeting is the making the logistics much easier. This is one point of what you are saying, but there is also a lot of talk about helping. In fact, if you see the government recently, the export promotion mission, they said, no, EPM they call it, which includes all these things. There is something called export in the direction in the sense guiding these small units in various way, like the branding, like quality. One more thing, the in logistics, what can be done is a AI driven logistics support. The budget, as I say, the indications right now is that mainly I think the capex will, because capex last year whatever was targeted, as I understand, around 30%, 40% of that was over within August. Whatever the,
Okay.
whatever was 11.23 lakh crore was, I think that's the amount which was allocated for. Even the railway, I remember by December they consume 80% of their this year's whatever budget they were
So,
given.
so the execution rate is very high.
So basically, one more thing which I think, the logistics, that's what I was telling. No, I understand that there is a lot of plans in the logistics are coming, and much more, push to the specifically the sectors which are affected by the tariff. Overall market, I'm saying, the people of India has a lot of confidence in the market, so they're putting money. You see that FDs are coming down, the bank deposits are coming down, CD ratios are going up. Actually, these all changes is pushing us to have all the pending reforms. We always say India needs more reforms. We stalled our reform in some point of time. That is we're pushing, and we should push that faster and as far as possible, and to keep the growth going. And as and when things get settled down, then our that will help us in a much bigger way.
Hi, I'm PratimBose, and you are watching Podcast with Pratim. I have with me Mr. Subhendu Moitra, a long friend, a regular on this platform, an investment banker, is founder director of Quas. I think I forgot the name, Quas
Advisors.
Quas Advisors, right. So Subhendu, we will discuss Indian economy today, and obviously the US is the issue. Subhendu, what is the problem really? I mean, we have handled the domestic, in terms of economy, we have handled the domestic side properly, I believe. I mean, in realistic sense, we have just, the car sales numbers are out, our exports are zooming, the new FTA with Mexico have done very well. Mexico, incidentally, is part of NAFTA. And that about the domestic sales. I mean, post-COVID, what we saw is the auto sales, suddenly the small car sales dropped and the big car sales were moving up. So meaning that only the rich were buying, But now with the latest numbers, is the rural sales have outpaced the urban sales. So which means that finally the consumer consumption has started growing all across. And small car sales have reversed from a couple of quarters. So all this put together, our inflations are low, growth is good under the circumstances. Overall, there is not much problem that we can see immediately. So how do you look at it? Only the external issues are the problem, or and how can we handle it?
I put this way that I think we discussed earlier also. This has given us an opportunity, and we have taken a lot of that. What you said, how we managed all this, improvement in the consumptions and all, domestic at least, and also our growth is better than the last year corresponding period. Is basically you have done certain reforms which were pending for a long time, like GST 2. Okay, So that is the reforms we have done, and also we have diversified our export. But
No, Shoendu, you are saying that the reforms were due for overdue for too
yes,
long.
yes,
I'm just objecting to the word too long because if you remember, we took 17 years to implement GST.
absolutely. No, I'm not saying too long. Maybe it would have taken much more longer. It
But
created,
in
created a
7 years,
situation. It,
we have done with it.
yeah,
We
we
have
have
done
created,
with
and
it, and in
it's
between we had a COVID.
exactly. So what I'm saying, it has helped us. COVID helped us in maybe implementing GST in a better way, and this helped us in pushing the GST to much faster, considering the Indian context. That's what I'm saying. Then you see certain other pending reforms. For example, the insurance reforms,
Right.
100% FDI, that has
100%
also,
FDI.
yeah. So these are the benefits which has come. But let me tell you, that doesn't mean that there's no effect of the tariff. Let me be very honest about it. If you see the growth of export, the service export has outpaced merchandise, and mainly because of the US tariff, I must appreciate. But we are managing in a way, like we are diversified our export. Earlier it was like lot of things were there which is only one country export, which was not a good idea also. I mean, we have improved that, the directions, and this is also giving us the opportunity some more you know uh, uh, reforms. One reform which I think government is now targeting is making the logistics much easier. There's a talk that in Indian logistic cost it's very high, 16 to 18%. So maybe the next reform or the government in the budget, I expect a lot of push for the logistics sector, especially the cargo, movement and other sectors, which will improve, especially our MSMEs, in a bigger way. Also, government has come with this export targeted scheme, like export promotion schemes, kind of thing. Like there's a 25,000 crore they'll be spending in next 5 years, of which a portion is for interest subvention, a portion is for giving a more larger uh, uh, guarantees, up to 80-85% guarantees on the loan, especially for the export focused MSMEs. So these are all helping. And also you might have seen certain sectors which we thought initially they suffered also, of the especially which are the industries which suffered basically for the tariff. One, if you see, apparel. Another, of course, is the jewelry. And then there are which actually employs a lot of guys. And see, another is the shrimp culture. The shrimp has improved. The recently the data says that shrimp production and sale has improved. So I think we are doing well. We are finding a new way, and I'm sure everybody expecting that within this year that tariff issue will be solved in either way, in some way or the other. Next couple of months, we can hope, but very difficult to say when it will happen. But considering the lot of uncertainties around this, but we can say that things will happen and things will be much better. But meantime, we are doing a lot of things better which we could have done maybe anyways, but maybe we
So
are
that's where
pushing
I
it.
would like to come to you. Uh, you said about logistics. Uh, I think one good thing that they are now talking, DFC was a wrong idea. Dedicated freight corridor was a wrong idea.
Exactly.
Why? Now they are talking about dedicated passenger corridor. So,
Right.
you are essentially then decongesting the tracks.
Mhm. Right, exactly.
You're separating the passenger
Mhm.
and traffic.
It's
But
all the same, but the way the focus is different, actually. That's what I'm saying. Ultimately, effect may be much better with the passenger corridor, I must say.
that will be much better at a lesser cost.
Yes.
Because when you make a dedicated freight corridor, right, then you are looking at end-to-end cargo, etc.
Mhm. Mhm.
So you are making fresh investments. But when you just shift the passenger out, so first you decongest the lines
Exactly.
and things can move faster. So in a low-hanging fruit,
Yes.
basically. But and everyone will cooperate when it will come to passenger. All states will cooperate. So,
Yeah, in fact, also there is this is one point of you're saying, but there is also a lot of talk about helping. In fact, if you see the government recently, the export promotion mission, they said, no, EPM they call it, which includes all these things. There is something called export in the direction in the sense guiding these small units in various way, like the branding, like quality. One more thing, the in logistics, what can be done is a AI driven logistics support. I mean, you need to know which is my best way to, send my product. A small unit may not be aware. He might be following everybody, what everybody does. There may be other ways. There may be integration of the all, routes, especially even the inland waterways. If you can use it, integrate in the overall,
That
movement.
they tried, they
They're
tried.
trying, and I think. See what's happening because of the mission. It's being done in an integrated way. Otherwise, it's for small units very difficult to use such kind of technology and new things, and it doesn't work that way. So that support is also coming through the mission. So I think they will. So when the all the things, especially the tariff and other things, improves, because right now I think there are 13 or 14. Bilateral agreements already in place, including the UK and I think Germany. Germany is EU,
EU.
and recently I think New Zealand we had done something. So this is another part because it's already becoming not from a multipolar to the bipolar, or the global economy is moving in a different direction. So we are going into these actions also faster. So as and when the US thing comes up, I think we'll become much more stronger and both will be much more faster. But when it
US,
comes,
US thing is not going to be settled in very short period. There are so many ifs and buts. First of all, Trump has already said that he can hike tariff,
yeah, right.
right?
No, I mean, again, yesterday you said something different. So I think we have to see exactly how it comes up. But yes, I agree with you. It's very uncertain there, and it's
But what
affecting.
are you? Oh, I mean, my interest area is we are doing a lot. We have already, sort of discounted the risk of Trump raising tariffs. Okay, so it is in our assumptions.
Yes.
And there are many ifs and buts. For example, if the American Supreme Court, what will be their verdict on the reciprocal tariffs? Then there are other issues as well. The Trump will eventually face the midterm.
So
Okay,
actually, these being all external issues, we should always, very conservative way of strategizing. We should always feel that things may not be better in a short term. As I accept your point that in long term only these things all will come if
I mean,
and when
let us plan. We have to plan
without all
assuming
this,
that
without
this
all
is
this,
yeah, without all
absolutely.
this. So
And
that is where
because see,
I'm
when
asking you.
I
That is
have
where
already
I'm
said,
asking you.
uh,
We are doing or we are trying a lot in two areas. One, we are trying trade diversification, which is the right approach. We were just sitting and eating pretty kind of. Okay, US is buying, and you remember old problem when USSR collapsed. So we immediately
yes,
suffered
same.
because our stuff
Yeah,
was directed to
everything
that.
was going there. Yes,
Right. So the same problem. So it is actually a blessings in disguise. It gives you the shock, asks you to cut flab and go, move. So
and makes you stronger as economy.
right. Every challenge made us stronger. We
Yeah.
faced US sanction. We liberalized. There was issues.
Yes.
We faced 10 years after liberalization. We faced US sanction. We
Mm.
survived that. And over the last 5 years, we face every type of challenges, right?
Yes.
And we are stronger. So that's good. But I'm asking, number one is two areas the government has to work on a medium term basis. One is long term is that you diversify your trade, find out new markets. So we just saw the India Russia dialogue, and there is a real effort to increase the exports to Russia,
Right.
right? Russia is also keen because a
Yeah, there's a
very
lot of balance issue. So they need the money.
because we want to move out of dollar.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So that is where. And secondly is given that these tariffs are there. So whether you are hearing much about or how much you are hearing about trade diversification, that is number one. Number two is whether there will be what kind of we have to cushion the tariff impact to industry, right? So what kind of schemes or kind of subsidies or whatever it is, incentives you are expecting in the budget?
See, the budget, as I say, the indications right now is that mainly I think the capex will, because capex last year whatever was targeted, as I understand, around 30%, 40% of that was over within within August.
Okay.
Whatever was 11.23 lakh crore was, I think that's the amount which was allocated for. Even the railway, I remember by December they consume 80% of their this year's whatever budget they were
So,
given. So
so,
things.
so the execution rate is very high.
So basically next year you can expect some more growth in the capex. That's the first thing, which will continue like that.
Okay.
Second thing, what I believe is that, of course, tax and all, I don't think much of reforms will happen with the direct tax code has
We have
come.
already done it.
Yes, yes. And logistics,
I
I understand.
direct I both IT as well as GST. We are
Yes,
done.
yes,
All that is left out is inclusion of petroleum into
yes.
GST.
That's right. That may take some time, I believe, and there. So basically, one more thing which I think the logistics. That's what I was telling. No, I understand that there is a lot of plans in the logistics are coming, and much more, push to the specifically the sectors which are affected by the tariff. A lot of sectors which is affected. There will be pushed much more PLIs, more interest intervention, and more guarantee, larger guarantee under trade guarantee scheme. So these are the things I expect. Things will come in next budget expected, and I think that's what I think. Basically pushing whatever we are doing. Logistics, one thing which I think the government is thinking in a big way because of the they believe this cost needs to be reduced to make us more competitive. But
Just a question here.
Mhm.
Logistics cost to GDP was high, right?
Yes, yeah,
Now we have invested over the last decade, we invested a lot in infrastructure,
right,
right? We also smoothened issues with, say, with respect to the toll gates.
right.
GST and all those things have just done away with that. Then FASTag has removed all those things. So hasn't the cost gone down?
No, it has. It see you what you all see is a roads. Logistic has a lot of other areas also.
Exactly.
Roads. So I think now they have understood only road pushing is not the main thing. You need to connect
No,
also.
they understood it. If you remember Goti Shakti plan, so that was a
Yes.
logistic.
But that push, see, the plan was there, but the push, if you see, was only on the road. Everything was happening in the road only. If you just look at the road, and they are trying for the railway, which is, I think, now coming up. Initially, it was very slow in the railway. Let me take you. Off
Right.
late, off late railway has last 2 years
Peak
picked
speed.
up. Yeah, taken speed is not so. So now they are looking. They should look for the inland waterways, those sort of things, and integrating this, which is a Gati Shakti's main thing is integrating all this together, multimodal logistic corridor, which we talk about. So that was not happening in a big way. I think that is the thing is missing. So you may have everything, but at the end of the day, you are not saving anything out of because you're not connected. So that
Right.
is one thing was one of the push I expect in this budget, and more push for especially for the sector, because we are saying all positive. One thing which is affecting us, is of course the rupee getting depreciated. See, depreciated is fine, but instability, you see, that has affected our lot of foreign institutional investors going out of the market. Because see,
Right.
what happens, you, even if you, whatever is your return, if there is a depreciation out of that, the return comes drastically down of them. So basically they are going out. We need to, I'm not saying that you need to make rupees as 30 rupees 40, not that, but we should stabilize rupee,
I think
that
we should
is.
explain this for the benefit of our viewers. So the foreign investors who have been investing into Indian market have been earning in rupees.
Yes, because see, I suppose they are investing 100 rupees, so they'll put a dollar, the 100 rupees. Suppose when 100 rupees give you a return of say 15%, so each they should get 115. But
So
by
he
the
is
time,
getting less in dollars than
so by the
expected.
time by the time the rupee has depreciated by, say, assume 15%, so there's a zero return, right? It's not depreciated that way. I'm just saying, so it eats into your return. So they believe, oh, it's very stable, so let's go to somewhere where you get a stable
No,
say.
but then also Subhendu, that's we all know that the FII is exited, right, because of the dollar issue. But the market has not gone down really.
Domestic investors, if you go to the banks today, they said that you look at the CD ratios of the bank. CD ratios are affected because people domestic investors are putting money in Indian market. So if you see the domestic investors, retail investor putting money, mutual funds, money in the mutual fund or directly in the market, that's quite substantial. It's not gone down to that extent. So that is holding the market, I believe. And but yes, that's fine. But at the same time, we need to have the other investors also. It's
No,
important we have.
obviously,
Yeah.
obviously,
Then only
but
the growth will come much faster, because look at our GDP is growing at 7.8%. Our market should go at least double of that. Don't you believe so? The GDP, at least, in this growing market, when I look at that, we are going to grow at this percentage, about 8% or 7% for next, say, 10 years. If you believe, everybody believes that, then the market should be much faster, much growing much faster. So I believe with all these things getting settled, that growth will come. So that's why the domestic investor are putting money. I don't know whether, because I'm not a investment consultant kind of thing, but domestic investors believe that the growth is there, so market is not moving
no,
that way.
domestic investors, see, there are lots of ways. For example, people are taking positions in silver, which taken positions in
Yes,
copper.
yes,
So
silvers, gold, copper, everywhere they have taken
okay,
position.
then you see the defense manufacturing stocks, right?
Yeah,
So you have seen this. So this is a very good. They give very good return. The defense side.
yeah.
So
So they are taking call every. But I'm saying overall market. I'm saying, those are the various sectors also. Overall market, I'm saying the people of India has a lot of confidence in the market, so they're putting money. You see that FDs are coming down, the bank deposits are coming down, CD ratios are going up actually. So more credit
I
belongs.
I think Subhendu, this is I understand it. I think this is a time when you have to hold on to the growth. You
Yes,
cannot
you
expect
cannot allow things
you
to go down.
cannot
And
expect very high things. Then
yes, and
otherwise
not
you will
only
fall
that,
back because
you should
because you
you
are
should
passing through the most last 5 years. We have been passing through one
since
of the
Corona, you can
most
say. Since
huh?
Corona, you can say. Since Corona period.
Right. So passing through the most troubled times in the
Yeah,
history
yeah.
because one after another, there
Things
are
are
so
happening.
many issues coming.
Adverse things are happening.
Right. You see, right after COVID, you suffered from what? That supply chain constraint,
Right.
right? Then, as the supply chain constraint, you are try addressing that. In the meantime, there was an Ukraine war, and that is still holding on, and that is changing your geopolitics. Your one. I mean, forget all this. The Fed, etc. So suddenly, the America. Then at one point of time, they were giving handouts, and then suddenly they started raising tariffs. Okay, fine. But then you had one Trump who is changing everything. They don't want WTO now. The
So
latest is
basically what I believe, that these all changes is pushing us to have all the pending reforms. We always say ki India needs more reforms. We stalled our reform in some point of time. That is we're pushing, and we should push that faster and as far as possible, and to keep the growth going. And as and when things get settled down, then our that will help us in a much bigger way.